It's 2025, and I've been starting to use National Rail a lot recently, as it's one of the most extensive and complex rail networks in the world, with multiple lines, stations, and operators navigating London's rail system.
Anyways, just got off at Cheshunt. I think Greater Anglia got an underrated fleet.
It is one of the most friendly ways to move passengers around, offering a convenient alternative to the tube, from iconic landmarks to beautiful scenery. So that's why I'm going to be spending the next 3 days, since April 13th, riding on what I think are the top 3 best routes to travel on. With National Rail, you will be able to access a lot of routes, even outside of London, especially on the London map. This journey for the next few days is going to be a journey that you'll never forget, and hopefully this will encourage more people to use National Rail more instead of the tube. So sit back, relax, grab a popcorn bucket as I take you on a journey for the next 3 days that you'll never forget. This is London by Rail, the best routes.
Greetings from Liverpool Street, where I'm about to go and catch a train to start off this documentary. Trains here go up the Great Eastern Main Line and West Anglia lines respectively, so let's go and have a look.
We're mainly going to be focusing on the West Anglia line for this documentary. This is run by Greater Anglia, Stansted Express, and don't forget the Weaver line as well, connecting key points of England like Cambridge, Hertford, Cheshunt, and most importantly, Stansted Airport. I attempted to make my own design where Stansted Express serves to stop. Note though that they are only going to stop at Stansted Mount Fitchett if there are any disruptions on the line or the train needs to stop at an additional station.
Just came onto the platform, and over here, yep, it's one of Greater Anglia's new toys, the 745s. I'm quite surprised that it's unit number 003, so it's not 007, but I can just insert my own James Bond gags here. Over here in carriage A is first class, and it's carriage B as well. So I guess I'm just going to walk down and get ready to leave to Tottenham Hale.
Stansted Express runs every 15 minutes, 7 days a week. The train consists of new Class 745 Stadler Flirt trains, replacing the Class 317s and 379s. The latter was given ownership to Great Northern to run their regional routes from King's Cross to Cambridge, Peterborough, Ely, and King's Lynn. Note though that Oyster and contactless payment cards are not valid beyond Tottenham Hale. However, later this year, the contactless payment zone will expand further to Stansted Airport, so anyone who's planning to buy a ticket to the airport will get to use their contactless payment card instead. That's wins all round.
So this is your new Stadler Flirt trains that Greater Anglia introduced in 2019.
Just to be aware, they are not similar to the 755s because they have a battery engine, but these are the electric ones. Out of all the new intercity trains that have been introduced, these are my favourite ones. Stadler just made one of the best trains for the entire UK country. And honestly, these seats are very comfortable. You've got armrests, you've got these armrests up and down, and also the elbow test, which is where I can have a sleep until we get to Tottenham Hale.
Welcome to this service for Stansted Airport. We will be calling at Tottenham Hale, Bishop Stortford and Stansted Airport. The next stop will be Tottenham Hale. Change for Victoria Line.
On time. Another train. I was just about to proclaim that this is 2 plus 2 seating, and I honestly thought that this train will be fitted with 3 plus 2 seating. It's not. It's fitted with 2 plus 2 seating. The way I'm sitting right now, this is the place where the seats are a little bit raised, and you want to know why? Because I think this is maybe where the bogies are to make the train move. Strangely enough, we're just passing through Bethnal Green on that side. I honestly thought that we would be passing through on the inside, but that's nothing that you can't see. And I think I know what the train is going. Oh! Never mind. Oh my god, can you see it over at the window? It's all the way down. It's all the way down. Stansted Express services that I've been on. This is my second time being on it, and surprisingly, it's really quiet. I'm surprised that no one's going to be using Stansted Airport, but Stansted Airport is actually getting a refurbishment. So maybe it will encourage more people to use Stansted Airport instead of like busy other airports like Heathrow and Gatwick.
We are now approaching Tottenham Hale.
Heard the announcer, we're just approaching Tottenham Hale now. Unfortunately, I cannot go that far because Oyster and contactless payments are not valid beyond Tottenham Hale. So I'm going to be getting off here and giving my thoughts on this train.
Welcome to this service for Stansted Airport.
Made it to Tottenham Hale. Honestly, I'll be honest here. I think the 745 is one of the best Stadler trains in any TFC in Britain. Those might be the most comfortable seats that I've ever sat on. Compared to other seats, because people complain about the Thameslink seats and the seats on the Hitachi trains, and I believe Greater Anglia might put a step-up change to these trains. They've done a great job with the seats. The comfort was very nice, the legroom was perfect. All was good with the 745. So overall, I enjoy that, but first, we're not done here, but we are going to be looking at Greater Anglia's other train, the Class 720.
Tottenham Hale. This is the service to Hertford East. Next station, Ponders End. We will be calling at Ponders End, Grimsdown, Enfield Lock, Waltham Cross, Cheshunt, Broxbourne, Rye House, St Margaret's, Ware, and Hertford East.
Okay, so good news, I managed to find a Greater Anglia 720. This is 3 plus 2 seating instead of 2 plus 2 seating. So this is the Adventurous series built of trains. CTC already got some 720s. 720s, they were, for CTC, they used to be called 711s. I don't know why, but it sounds so American to me in my opinion. But they stuck with the 720/6 series. I heard that the 720/1s and the /5s, and CTC got the /6s as well.
One thing that I did notice about the accessible toilet is that it will swear at you when you press the open button.
Welcome to this service for Hertford East.
And yes, for those who are wondering, the airboat test is alright. And yes, there's also 2 plus 2 seating in this area as well. So I'm going to share this for on the 720. I would say it's not a bad train to be added to the Greater Anglia fleet, but I think the C2C one's beat us.
Welcome to this service for Hertford East.
It was fitted with 2 plus 2 seating, and the seats, they look
The
fairly
next stop
comfy
will
in my
be
liking.
Enfield Lock.
Actually really like it. Happy days all round. Yeah, made it to Cheshunt, whatever. Anyways, just got off at Cheshunt. I think Greater Anglia got an underrated fleet. The trains are very nice, the seats are comfortable, and overall, I think it's very nice. The West Anglia line is very pretty. Anyways, I'm going to get the next Greater Anglia train back home. But overall, I enjoyed that.
So that's the West Anglia line. Make sure that you guys go on the new trains and make a day out of it. As for me, well, I took the train back to Hackney Downs for me to get the North London line back home. Anyways, on to day 2. London Victoria. It's the next day, and I'm starting at London Victoria, home to the Brighton Main Line, one of the most popular routes connecting London to the south of England and Sussex, as well as key points in Surrey. It'll be operated by Class 377 Electrostars. They are commonly used for southern services to take you to key destinations on the Brighton Main Line. The other operator that runs on the Brighton Main Line is the Gatwick Express, running every 30 minutes to Gatwick Airport, and uses Class 387 dual voltage Electrostars. However, it is often that they can be used on southern services as well. For example, some of Great Northern's Class 387s were transferred to Southern for a much needed capacity boost. This also allows some of Southern's Class 377/1 fleet to be transferred to Southeastern to work alongside Class 377/5s into Kent. The Electrostars across the Southern, Gatwick Express and Great Northern network will be seeking a refurbishment as part of the £55 million project announced by Govia Thameslink Railway and Aura. It will be fitted with track lights, new information screens, USB ports, and updated PIS displays.
It's day 3. It's day 2. I'm at London Victoria on a sub-train heading to Colston South. So this is the Class 377/4 series. It's part of the family of the
So for the next few scenes, I had no mic, so enjoy the moment of silence while it lasts.
Welcome aboard the Southern service to Red Hill. The next station is Clapham Junction.
On time. All looking nice and smoothly. So, the announcer is the same announcer of Greater Anglia, but it's.
Welcome aboard the Southern service to Red Hill. The next station is East Croydon.
I'll be honest here. This is definitely helping me out a lot. Sometimes, a train ride makes everything better. It can just help you to collect your thoughts, and also, being by myself allows me to really reflect properly and allows me to boost up my motivation. I really do enjoy my own company. I am the most myself when I speak to myself. I definitely wasn't that typical and anxious kid that I used to be back in the day, so I sometimes can avoid a lot of situations very quickly. I learned a lot from being alone. This is not the first time that I actually went on first class day. I went on first class on Southern for my birthday, but I only went as far as East Croydon, and then I headed back. It was a very nice experience. You know, when I was in first class, it makes me think I was actually Trek trendy. It's just so cool. And apparently, the former has an area on the train where the first class area would be. But of course, as Southern can sometimes not offer first class. This is a declassified area. Made it to Coulsdon South, which is a very pretty station indeed. Now I'm going to be finding a place to sit down. It's so quiet that in Zone 6 nobody can hear you scream at Coulsdon Town. 50 minutes down the road is near to Coulsdon Town Station, and I believe that Coulsdon Town used to be called Smitham Station. I think they might have changed the name as the request of the DFT to change the name to Coulsdon Town, from Smitham to Coulsdon Town, but I think I'm just going to keep the name from Coulsdon Town to Smitham. Some people might think that I actually left London. Well, I'm still in London. I mean, it is in Zone 6, it's on the London map. I mean, you can pay Oyster to get here, so it kind of feels like London. It makes me think that I'm not even in London at all. I mean, there are some London buses here. It's very quaint and quiet, and like I said, nobody can hear you scream at Coulton South. Let's test the seats. Me personally, I really like the seats. They're very comfortable, smooth. It's very nice. The legroom is just perfect. Even though someone's not even sitting next to me in first class. Speaking of going on a train ride making everything better, I heard that there's a lot of controversy that's happening. Some people in your life may say some negative comments to you like, "Oh, shut up, Sean, it's just a new railway, it's just a new train line, it's just a new tube line, shut up, man. No one cares." Well, let's just say to argue back, it's more than just trains. Let's just say that you have a bad day at school, for example. Maybe taking a train ride for the next few hours or so, maybe turning your bad day into a good one. And I don't know, maybe people suffer from mental issues or anxiety or autism or ADHD. Maybe things like that could be the reasons to why they are so negative to the person and why they are hating on that person just because of the hobby that they have. But I just realised that it's just trains and it's just awesome. Me going for a train ride makes me think that I'm actually going on an adventure, even if it's on the London map.
We are now approaching Purley.
Thameslink. Clapham Junction. There's one who wants to have a talk about what they think of Southern and what is their favourite route.
Back at the station, there's a lot of ruckus going on, but I was excited to meet a very special face.
Me personally, I think Southern is one of the most underrated TOCs in my opinion, because I have a lot of fond memories when travelling on it. I remember taking my bestie Victoria out on the Dorking to Horsham shuttle, trying to visit every single station on that line. And the best benefit that we both had riding on it was that it takes us to places that I never been before. When we finished our adventure at Warnham, I looked at the pretty original station building, and I was like, wow, how come I've never been here before? Another benefit I had with Southern is that it takes you outside of London, especially on the London map. Let's say for example, Caterham, Epsom Downs, and Tattenham Corner. They are both outside of London, but they are in Zone 6. Watford Junction and Gatwick Airport are outside of the fare zones, but you still can pay Oyster to get to those destinations. This really makes me want to come back more to Greater London and visit some of its stations. As for my favourite route, I would say the East Coast Way route from Brighton to Seaford and Eastbourne. Shout out to Lewis. It's incredible.
And now, let's move on to what I think is the best UK rail line of all time. My favourite main line of all time is the West Coast Main Line. Introducing London Euston, it was opened on July 1837 by the London and Birmingham Railway. London Euston is the terminus of 4 TOCs: Avanti West Coast, London North Western Railway, the Caledonian Sleeper, and don't forget the London Overground as well. But we are mainly going to be focusing on London North Western Railway for this documentary.
Really simple. Just getting onto the platform. Onto platform number 10. Going to be getting this train up to Watford Junction. But before I do that, London North Western Railway have different calling patterns, so here's a quick map that I drew.
Yes, London North Western Railway has different calling patterns, so I attempted to draw my own design, which does show you that. It shows every stopping calling point that London North Western Railway does, whether it is going to Tring, Milton Keynes, and Birmingham New Street. We will be taking the 1054 from London Euston up to Watford Junction. But first, the trains that I like and that are used on the West Coast Mainland are the Class 350's electric multiple unit, which run regional and semi-fast services between London and the North. These trains were part of the DeZero family of trains, built between 2004 and 2014. At the end of the platform, I noted that there is a Dash 4 variant, indicating that this is an ex-Transpennine Express unit. I found my seat, sat down, and departed Euston at 10:54 AM. The train leaves Euston running electric under the wires. I was very impressed of how the acceleration was when we pulled out of Euston. Yes, as you can probably tell, London North Western Railway is one of my favourite TOCs ever, because I used to commute here. I used to take London North Western Railway back in 2012. Back in 2012 it was branded as London Midland, so I used to take this service all the way up to Hemel Hempstead, even when as far as Birmingham New Street for that matter. And I remember being in the Dash 2s because I really like the Dash 2s because they are nostalgic. But personally, I think these trains with the refurbished interiors, they look very nice. Especially this is an ex-Transpennine Express unit, 350-404 I think. So yeah, London North Western Railway. It's underrated, fast, we're racing a Pendolino. Yeah, not much really to say about London North Western Railway. The acceleration was incredible when we pulled out of Euston. If I continue to walk down here, can you see? Can you see? Look at this. I think I got an entire carriage of a London North Western train all to myself, which I didn't expect. I did say that London North Western Railway is one of the most underrated TOCs, and I'll have to agree with myself. The experience of National Rail is definitely going to be something to keep on coming back on it. And just 10 minutes later, we arrived into Harrow and Wealdstone. Funnily enough, it's one of the oldest stations on the network, dating back to 1837. If some people know their London Underground history, it opened in 1863. But what if there were tube stations built before the tube was actually a thing? And Harrow and Wealdstone was one of them.
The next stop will be Watford Junction.
Transpennine Express have transferred all of their Class 350/4 fleet to London North Western Railway with a nice refurbishment fitted with 2+2 seating, charging points, luggage racks and new information displays. LNWR may not be the most on-time TOCs, but the entire team at LNWR are doing all they can to attract more passengers into using it. Our train continues, heading north, passing through Headstone Lane, Hatch End, Carpenter's Park, Bushey, and stopping at Watford Junction, which is where we're getting off. I get off at Watford Junction and the train left on time, heading north, bound for Tring.
Made it to Watford Junction on this lovely sunny April day. It's very nice. Honestly, I feel like I want to cry. I just love the 350s. The 350s, they are goated. What I did notice is that it has its own logo. When I think of the Underground and the Overground, they have the standard roundel. But I knew that I was on London North Western Railway. The trains, the seats, it was just so comfortable. The 745s and the 350s, they have the most comfortable seats that I ever sat on. I mean, it's a shame that the 350-2s are going to get withdrawn for the new 730s to be taken in, to allow the trains that you saw departing will be transferred back to West Midlands Railway where they actually belong. But hey, I enjoyed that. Really, really enjoyed that.
And there goes the fast train. One thing that I can remind you is that it is also the terminus of southern services that terminate from East Croydon. The Milton Keynes to East Croydon route was actually such a handy feature for most people because it allowed people to avoid Zone 1 completely, especially during the rush hour. This documentary is out to show you what my top 3 best routes to travel on National Rail. Not all TSCs on National Rail can actually try to run on time all the time, but in the near future, all TSCs will do everything in their power to lead passengers to a positive attitude and use National Rail more instead of the tube.
Really great to meet all the people along the way to actually make this documentary, so my thanks to all of you. It's a pleasure to meet you all, and a special thanks to my fictional group for actually making this possible. Hopefully this documentary will inspire you to take your own trip to some of the extremities of the National Rail network, and hopefully people will use National Rail more instead of the tube. But overall, I enjoyed that. And so that's it. That is how I spend the past 3 days since April 13th, what I think are the top 3 best National Rail networks for me to ride on. The West Anglia Line is number 3, the Brighton Main Line is number 2, and the West Coast Main Line gets the number 1 spot. London's National Rail network is just absolutely brilliant. I acknowledge that. I fully acknowledge that. I mean, I've been starting to use it a lot more recently instead of using the tube. But don't worry, I still like the London Underground, but after me not going to some of the real extremities of the National Rail network, I feel like I actually want to go back on National Rail more. To actually visit every single station on the National Rail network, and hopefully, one way or another, I will do it again.
I really like National Rail myself. It makes me think that I'm going on a really long adventure, and learning new stories from each passing time. Not only it can take you to the middle of nowhere, but also allows you to visit stations that you've never been before.
We both like National Rail as well, because not only is it convenient, but it contains some parts of the UK that you've never been before. Even though Sean spent some time by himself in the real world, it's very well proven that real and fictional characters can actually get along really well.
And this is what we like about Sean and his brilliant thinking. The combination of animated content and real-life videos that he does is honestly very clever. Even if he has retired from doing animated content, he can still be in touch with us in the real and fictional worlds respectively.
The reason why I like National Rail is because not only does it quickly get you from A to B in the fastest time possible, but because due to that its journey time is 1 to 4 hours, it can really allow you to collect up your thoughts on how you are feeling if you are having a bad time. It's great to see that we have a leader who wants to take us on his adventures even though we are from different universes.